Memorial Day weekend continues in Atlanta, Georgia. Another very warm late afternoon as the Rockies prepare to take on the Braves and bounce back after falling 3-2 last night at Turner Field. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Along with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. So the Rockies fell, as we mentioned last night, but as importantly, they lost their third baseman for a considerable amount of time. Nolan Arenado went down with a broken finger when he dove into second on a double early in the baseball game.
And you don't replace Nolan Arenado. You don't replace a Gold Glover. You don't replace a guy with key hits. Here's a look at the slide again as he went in. And you'll hear later on what Nolan has to say about it. But it was one of those deals that you lose somebody like this, you need to have that depth come forward. And whether these other guys that are having great years, they got to have better years. You got to continue to punch because that's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You got to go play baseball.
Yeah, around baseball, you've noticed a ton of injuries. And so Arenado will be down for a period of time. We talked to Nolan and Keith Duggar about the situation.
I slid into the back. I kind of knew I broke it. Yeah, I knew right away. I didn't feel good, and as I was on the base, it started tightening up. So I just had a bad feeling about it. But mentally, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. Thinking about it. Just being with these guys, and then there's something like this happens. And this is a big road trip, and I really want to be a big part of this. And it is what it is, man. I just feel like I kind of feel like I'm letting these guys down a little bit.
Typically, any fracture takes 4 to 6 weeks just to heal. That doesn't mean they're baseball ready. If the fracture site is healed in 4 weeks, then we'll have about 2 weeks of rehab and let them go out and play. But right now, it's hard to say what the time frame is.
Pretty clear it's going to be after the All-Star break. And George, you look at who the Rockies have who can play third base, what their options are.
Well, I think you look at Kadire. He hasn't played here since 2010. Eliminate that option. He's a second. He's a right fielder, first baseman. Fill in at second. Pacheco's your backup catcher. LeMahieu's probably your guy to go to third base. Charlie making his first big league start today at third base.
Excuse me. So those are the options right now, and we'll see how it goes going forward. I'm okay, thanks, buddy.
Okay, all right.
Josh Rutledge was brought up to the big leagues today as Nolan was placed on the disabled list. We'll get you prepared for the game. When we come back, Mark Stott will talk a little pitching. Juan Nicasio, Mike Minor, the two combatants today, Rockies and Braves in a few.
Atlanta, 96 degrees in the sun. Of course, the field is in the sun, so it's going to be a warm one today. Fans are here at Turner Field, and they are fanning themselves, getting ready for Game 2 of the series between the Rockies and the Braves. Marched out here, Mike Minor will make the start, the lefty for the Braves. Minor was the 7th pick back in 2009. Overall, he has 23 wins in his last 2 years. He's a guy the Braves are relying on. The Rockies today relying on Juan Nicasio. And Nicasio comes into this game having pitched better at Coors Field at home than he has on the road in the course of his career. In fact, he is a 19-18 pitcher overall, 6-11 on the road. And Juan has had his struggles with this Braves team. In 4 starts, a 9.82 ERA, an 0-3 mark. Hayward, Freeman, Johnson, Upton, all hitting 500 or better against Nicasio. And Freeman's been the troublemaker with 3 home runs off of him. His ERA against the NL East is not good in his career at 6.18, but he has pitched better this May than he has ever in his career. A 1.50 ERA, batting average against 150. Let's see if Juan Nicasio can keep it going today here at Turner Field and help the Rockies get a win in Game 2 of this series. After a tough 3-2 win last night and the loss of Nolan Arenado, looking to bounce back here at Turner Field. It's next.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. Rockies trying to straighten things out here in Atlanta, Georgia. They have lost 13 of their last 14 in Atlanta, and specifically at Turner Field. 61 and 111 all-time against the Braves. That's the Rockies' worst win percentage against any opponent. 50 games below 500. A late afternoon start, 4 o'clock tomorrow, by the way. As the holiday weekend continues, it'll be a 5 o'clock local start, which means 3 o'clock back in the Mountain Time Zone. And also in Philadelphia on Monday, it's a 5 o'clock local start or 3 o'clock. So make your plans accordingly. Atlanta takes the field. It was their type of victory last night, George. 3-2 as you look at Mike Minor. They scored a run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they handed it over to Craig Kimbrell, who struck out the side. By the way, that's the 22nd time in Kimbrell's brilliant career, and it's a young career, that he has gone 1-2-3 with 3 punch-outs in the 9th inning. He's that dominant.
152 career saves now for Craig Kimbrell, and you put him in the Kimbrell's lineup and you put it where it is in Braves history. He's 2 behind John Smoltz now, so obviously at a very young age has been very dominant. Brandon Barnes will try to get things going for the Rockies.
And here's the rest of the lineup for Walt Weiss. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Rockies are dominated against the lefty with right-handed bats naturally. Stubbs will bat second, Tulowitzki third. Kadire will slip into that 4 spot. No Carlos Gonzalez this afternoon. He's getting closer. He took BP out on the field, but not in the starting lineup, as you can see. Willeen Rosario will bat fifth. The only lefty is Justin Morneau. Culberson will play third, his first start there. DJ LeMahieu is at second base, and Juan Nicasio will pitch and bat ninth. The numbers for Mike Minor are brought to you by Inova Cancer Care, advanced non-surgical treatment of prostate cancer in only 5 sessions. Visit InovaCC.com.
There's the numbers. You look at 4 starts only and you go, where's he been? Well, he had shoulder tendonitis in spring training, did not make a pitch in spring training. Then he made 5 rehab starts between Rome, Georgia. Then he went to Mississippi, Gwinnett, and on here to the big leagues. Made his debut on 5-2, May 2nd, against San Francisco. Lost in the ball game in one of those games Drew's talking about, 2-1.
Well, he's never lost to the Rockies. He's 3-0 lifetime against Colorado. And he beat the Rockies twice last year in 4 career starts against the Rockies. 1 no decision, but the Braves would win that ball game as well. He's another one of those starting pitchers, George, out of Vanderbilt.
Again, he's been tested among the big crowds, tested among people that violent crowds in college, man. They get after it. They have some fun, and particularly at Vanderbilt, a very proven college program. David Price is a Vanderbilt guy.
First pitch is in there, strike 1. Last night, Gavin Floyd pounded the strike zone for Atlanta. Jordan Lyles also pitched very well for the Rockies. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings.
Yeah, just 1 walk after walking 6 in his previous start. Struck out 6. He put the team in a position to win. Battle of the bullpens, and Atlanta won.
And that's a big key with this Atlanta bullpen. You want to stay away from Carpenter and Kimbrell naturally. So I think even more so than most teams, George, it's incumbent on getting an early lead against whoever they throw out there in their rotation.
Not easy to do either. They catch the ball very well. Just got to apply the pressure to them, apply the pressure to the catching situation. Gaddis back in the lineup for them behind the plate. He's got 5 errors on the year. There's been 25 attempts at stealing a base, and the Rockies with a lot of speed at the top of the lineup today with Barnes and Stubbs. He's only thrown out 7 would-be base stealers out of 25.
1-2 on Barnes. And this ball is in the air to deep left center field, but playable on the edge of the track. B.J. Upton hauls it in. Defensive alignment for Atlanta brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Justin Upton in left, B.J. Upton in center, Jason Hayward's a Gold Glover in right, Chris Johnson at third. Andrelton Simmons, as you know, is fantastic. He won a Gold Glove last year, just 2 errors so far. Ramiro Pena will play second. Freddie Freeman is a good defensive first baseman. Evan Gaddis is behind the plate. 1 out, and here's Drew Stubbs. He has faced Minor twice, and he is 2 for 2 with 2 home runs.
And what Minor likes to try to do is come inside on right-handers, and he'll elevate that pitch. That's what Barnes hit into left center field.
Won't hit a home run here. Simmons. 2 outs. 2 gone. That'll bring up Tulowitzki. Troy 0 for 8 in his career against Minor, was 1 for 4 last night. Minor will give up some home runs. Gave up 26 2 years ago in a little more than 170 innings.
And what you look for, how many solos. You know, you're giving up solo home runs, you can live with it. It's the walk, it's a base hit, and the 3-run shots that make it difficult.
That's inside. Home plate umpires Lance Barksdale, Mark Ripperger's at first, Gary Cedarstrom at second, and Kerwin Danley at third. B.J. Upton shaded toward right center. And that's inside also. I find that interesting. They just worked him inside twice, George. In B.J., in the defensive alignment, they want him over toward right center field. But you'd think if you're going to align that way, you'd pitch him away.
Balls hit in the air for Tulowitzki more to center and right is why they do it that way. Probably by the spray charts. On the ground in the infield, it's typically a pull shot. Simmons will have a play on this. Tough day with this guy, too. Able to make a play on Tulowitzki.
Rockies go quietly in the first. Off for Atlanta. He's riding an 11-game hitting streak. Juan Nicasio's on the mound. Here's the rest of the lineup for Atlanta that Juan will face. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Freddie Gonzalez will have B.J. Upton batting second once again. B.J. had a couple of hits last night. Freddie Freeman batting .303 will be next. Then Justin Upton. Evan Gattis missed the last 4 with a viral infection. Healthy again, or at least healthy enough to play. He'll bat fifth. He's got big power. Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, Ramiro Pena, and Mike Minor. Juan Nicasio making his 10 starts as we take a look at his ANOVA numbers.
I'd like to see him have a better outings out on the road. He's been outstanding at home. 3-0, 360 earned run average. The opposition 248. Out on the road, an ERA close to 5. So keeping the ball down. Here's an interesting statistic on Juan. When pitching 6 or more innings in a ball game, this ball club has been special. We'll get to that in just a second. I think it's very interesting to show this early in the ball game on Juan Nicasio and what he has done. For you folks at home, you see when he goes 6 or more, regardless home or road, 14-3. The ERA 2.24. The Rockies record 20-8. 5 or less innings. Quite a contrast. At 5-15, a high earned run average than what the Rockies do. So you say, all right, just pitch 6 innings every time, right? Easy way to solidify that.
2-0 count to Hayward, and that's in there 2-1. Hayward's 5 for 9 against Nicasio. Hayward and Freeman have really swung the bat well against Juan. Here's the 2-1. And they tied him up inside. It's 2-2. Nicasio, as much as any pitcher you'll see, pitches off his fastball.
Well, that's his main pitch. He averages 91.9, basically 92 miles an hour. The slider's at 84 miles an hour. I remember the day he was called after a start in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Watching him with his fastball command was just off the charts with a bunch of velocity. And it was 96, 97. Could hit a gnat in a snowstorm, Drew. You heard that before. 71% of the time he'll throw the fastball slider. The changeup also will go along with a split finger, along with that changeup.
But if you look at that, George, it's hard. That's what you guys say in the pitching industry.
And you can get to the maybe not first time through. It's the second time through the lineup is where you can get a little bit more. 8 of the 9 home runs given up by Nicasio. He's 5th in the National League. Are solo home runs.
And what I mean by hard, a slider is a pitch that
no adjustment.
It's the second hardest type of pitch you'll see. Fastball number 1, obviously, and a slider is just a few miles an hour off that.
Well, they talk about hitting speed on pitchers, and at 86 to 89 range is a good hitting speed if the ball's flat and straight. And that's where Nicasio can get in trouble at times, is he'll throw the slider at 85, 86, but it doesn't have depth, doesn't have break. It's a flat break on the same swing path as the bat.
3-2 on Hayward. And Juan's going to win the battle. DJ calling for it. Here's the Rockies defense, brought to you by Excel Energy. In the outfield, Brandon Barnes getting the start in left. Drew Stubbs is in center. Michael Kadire in right. Again, Culberson starting for Nolan Arenado, who started every game and played basically every inning until yesterday, with one exception when he was thrown out of a ball game. So the Rockies are going to mix and match going forward at third. We talked extensively with Walt Weiss before the game, and he's kicking a number of things around. Culberson getting the start today. DJ LeMahieu can play over there. He's very comfortable there. And a chance for Culberson, and he makes a nice pickup and a good play. Nice play.
Very nice play. I'm going to watch, see what he does on this play. Is that you got to react very quickly, playing somewhat tight at third base, even with the bag. It's a one step to the knee, catch the baseball, get up and fire a strike on over to Morneau. One more to look at it from him. It's all about, you notice what he did there, folks. He had his feet wider apart, much like a linebacker in football, a guy trying to guard the point guard. And he's really light on his toes. You talk about light on your feet to be able to move left or right and react quickly to the baseball.
Freddie's 5 for 8 against Juan with 3 home runs. Here's the 1-0 to Freeman. And it's high 2-0. Michael Kadire is such a versatile player, and he's played more games at third base than anybody else other than Nolan Arenado, but it's been a while. He would be most comfortable in the infield other than first base at second base, which opens up some possibilities. Not on an everyday basis, but on occasion, perhaps, Walt could play Kadire at second and LeMahieu at third, because their greatest offensive depth, as we know, is in their outfield. The Rockies have 6 outfielders, which is unusual.
It is unusual, but when you have a strong right-hander, that's when you can make some moves with Dickerson and Blackman both in the outfield. Kadire played, last time he played third, 2010.
That's inside 3-1. And again, Kadire, I mean, he's such a team guy. He'll play anywhere. And he's a good athlete. When he was first drafted, he was a shortstop, as so many guys are. It's fouled off, 3-2. Not a steady diet of it, but it makes you pause if you're Walt Weiss and say, okay, you put Kadire at second, you put LeMahieu at third, and then, you know, whoever your extra outfielder is that day, you're getting a little more offense into the lineup. (3-2), and that's inside on Freeman. So Freeman draws a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Justin Upton. Kadire has 79 games at second base in his career. The last time he was over there was 2011. Michael will take ground balls there periodically anyhow, so it's not like he's going to walk over there and it's foreign ground. Justin Upton 1 for 4 last night, hitting .429 over his last 6 games, including 3 home runs. Big swing and a miss. 0-1. A lot of the pitchers like working in this humidity. And feels right at home for a lot of the Latin American kids.
I think the most difficult thing for anyone, regardless of where you're from, if you're in Colorado where you don't have a lot of humidity and pretty nice nights to play baseball where it's 55 degrees, and you show up in Atlanta and the humidity's 75 and it's 85, 90 degrees at the ballpark, it affects you. It can drain you quickly out of your normal feeling on the mound or at the plate or in the field.
Mark showed the thermometer in the last segment. It was 100 degrees on the field. 0-2, strike 3 on the corner. Good pitching by Nicasio. He was careful with Freeman, and he attacked Justin Upton for the punch out. We'll go to the second inning. No score in Atlanta. No scores. We go to the top of the second inning. Michael Kadire and that man, Justin Morneau, will be involved this inning. Willeen Rosario sandwiched in between them. Fans, there's a new way to ask your questions during Toyota Talk using your Twitter account. Tweet us your questions. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. We'll get to them in the fifth inning. So Kadire will lead things off against Mike Minor. Fourth time this year that Kadire's batted clean up, 3 for 11. He has a couple home runs in that spot. You know, last night he hit a ball that we thought he hit out in his second at bat that was caught at the wall, 380 mark, by Justin Upton. In his next at bat, he hit a ball that we weren't sure was going to go out, and it went back about 6-7 rows. Here's the ball he hits out. So I asked Michael today, I said, do you think you hit that first one out? He goes, absolutely. I thought I hit the first one out. And he goes, I didn't think I hit the second one out. He goes, I just hit him in the right place, I guess.
Yeah, he did. Well, the second one was a little farther to the left. Not much, but it was farther to the left than the first one. But the first one, when it left the bat, both of us looked at each other and we started to give high fives and ended up catching the thing.
3-0 swinging, and it's a drive to deep left field. Nobody's going to catch this one. Michael Kadire made sure of it. That was about halfway up in deep left center field. 1-0 Colorado.
Yeah, not a lot of height on that one. Fifth home run, Minor's given up. Fourth solo shot, and when somebody goes down in your lineup like Arenado, you want somebody to pick it up. Kadire coming off the DL, picking it up. Back-to-back home run. You like it. Last night, go deep. Today, you go deep. Give a little support to that Rockies dugout right now. Fastball, just belt high center cut. Minor threw the wrong pitch to Kadire, and he docked it out of the ballpark. Good for the Rockies, up 1-0 on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Well, he's hit cleanup now 4 times, and he's hit a home run. You're supposed to hit home runs when you bat cleanup, right?
Right.
3rd time he's hit a home run in the 4th spot. I'll tell you, man, I've said it so many times. You look up professional in the baseball dictionary, and the first guy who steps out is number 3 for the Rockies in my book. He just, in everything he does, on the field, off the field, around the batting cage, on a bus, on a plane, at home, he just is as professional and as good a guy as you will find in professional sports.
Yeah, you got 1A and then you got 1 and 1A. Morneau's kind of right in behind him. Both teammates for a long time with the Minnesota Twins. Very similar type characters in both guys.
Willeen Rosario at the plate with a 2-1 count. Pacheco got the start last night. Willeen pinch hit late. He had the unenviable task of trying to hit Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning. Kimbrell struck out Dickerson, Rosario, and LeMahieu to earn his 13th save. This has popped up. I tell you what, it fooled Justin Upton. Justin Upton headed back to the wall, and Simmons makes the catch.
I noticed the same thing.
15, 20 feet out of the outfield grass.
And I'm going to tell you something about Willeen. You're seeing those high pop flies, those kind of deep drives that are getting caught right now. Wait till he gets it going.
And he will. Too talented offensively not to. One other note on Michael Kadire. Since returning from the DL, he missed 24 games, Frage. 7 of 17.
Well, and again, if you read his comments, and this is what I liked, a lot of guys go on a DL and then they hit that rehab spot and they're like, okay, I just 1 game, 2 at bats, I'm ready. He went down to Arizona Instructional League, basically is what it is, extended spring. Took 14 at bats in 2 days, then went to Colorado Springs. My legs were ready, my eyes were ready. Even though I didn't get a lot of hits, I saw the ball well, I was swinging the bat well, I'm ready to go. But he also said, I'm not coming back till I know I'm ready.
That's pulled fast. And you know how you know he was ready, George, from the hamstring, from a health standpoint? He made a great running catch last night. I mean, he had to really get after it. And then he's the leadoff guy the next inning. And he has to, well, he always busted up the line. But it was one of those deals where it was bang, bang at first. Here's the catch he made last night. This was huge because it saved a run or 2.
Saved 2 runs. There was runners on. First, bases were loaded actually at the time. If he doesn't catch the ball and that squirts into the corner, there's probably 3 in. But he did catch it. He made a great play on the baseball. Earlier in the ball game, he had another high fly that he ran in behind second and caught. And then the base hit that Drew talked about in the infield.
3-2 on Morneau. 1-0 Colorado. 1 out in the 2nd inning. Lance Barksdale barks out strike 3.
Now looking again at this pitch to Morneau, he thought it was outside, but framed to the center of the body. I thought it was a little off, and the forward strike zone tells you it is off the plate. Just because you're in Atlanta doesn't mean everything off the plate's got to be a strike. If you go back to the days with Maddox and Glavine, Smoltz. And it's very frustrating on a 3-2 count. Line drive, stay up. There, baby, got in there on him.
Yep, Culberson in front of friends and family. A line single with 2 outs here in the 2nd.
What's frustrating to a great hitter like Morneau is you fight and foul off to get to a 3-2 hitter's count. You take the 3-2 pitch, knowing it's a ball. I mean, this is a guy that's been an MVP and hit 300 most of his career, and it's frustrating when it gets called and it's 2 inches off the plate.
Here's one of my issues, George. That squared up Evan Gattis, and so I think umpires are influenced by that. But the problem is Evan Gattis set up off the plate.
Right. Well, you got to look where it's setting up, where it's coming from, where it's going to.
And I don't think umpires can fall into the trap, go, well, it's centered the catcher, therefore it's a strike. You have to make sure that the catcher, where he's centered, is truly on the corner.
And you know what?
And not off the corner.
And they will tell you in New York, if the ball touches the corner, any part of the ball, we're not going to get on to you about calling it a strike. It's when it misses by 2 or 3 that when you start calling those for strikes, that's when I got a problem. But the only other problem I have, it's got to work for both sides. Well, Kadire, the big guy in the inning for the Rockies, he put them on top in this ball game. The Rocks have 2 hits, and they lead it 1-0 against the Atlanta Braves.
There's number 3 for the second time in his career. He hits a 3-0 pitch out of the park, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. The big story today, Nolan Arenado lost last night with a fractured middle left finger. When I asked Troy Tulowitzki about the injury, he drew on his own experience for advice for Arenado.
I've had to deal with some DL stints myself, so if anybody knows how to deal with them, it's myself. So I think you got to have a good outlook. And one thing that I've mentioned throughout my career is the times when I did get hurt, I felt like it made me a better player. And I know it's hard to understand that, but I think it really gave me a chance to sit back, see what I needed to do different in my game, make adjustments, and I really think it made me tougher and it made me a better player. So hopefully that's going to be the same thing with Nolan.
Drew and George, we show you Nolan Arenado, who is on the bench. And Arenado is going to visit Dr. Thomas Graham, in Cleveland when the team is in Cleveland coming up at the end of the week, and they'll reevaluate that injury.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't have to have any pins placed in it. As a line drive, Tulowitzki snares it, and Evan Gattis can go right to the dugout, 1 out.
Well, he's catching. He can go get his rest now.
Keith Duggars said it before the ball game. Anytime you're talking about a fracture, the healing process for a bone is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. That doesn't mean you get right back on the field. It's 4 to 6 weeks to get the bone healed. Now, one positive, it's on his left hand. So from a throwing standpoint, he can keep the arm in shape. He can play. He won't catch the ball. Somebody else will catch it for him, but he can keep the arm going. And from that
plus
standpoint,
it's not a leg
he'll be
injury.
fine.
You can keep your legs going by running too, because your legs aren't down.
Right, and in about 3 days, he can, resume those types of activities. So he can keep his conditioning up, the arm up, and then it'll be a matter of getting comfortable holding the bat and swinging the bat again, and that will, take some time. So it's going to be post All-Star break. 0-1 on Chris Johnson. And that's slowly hit. Good play by Charlie. Remember, Chris Johnson left the ball game early last night. He had struck out, and evidently, and I'm using words that were used by Chris Johnson, he threw a tantrum down in the tunnel, and some players had to go try to calm him down. Freddie Gonzalez said, we're not going to have that. And literally, like you do with a kid, he took him out of the ball game. And afterward, in the clubhouse, Chris Johnson apologized to the team. He apologized to Ramiro Pena, who had to go in. I'm sure Pena was happy to play, and Pena played a big role in the victory. But he said it's something that's always affected me losing my temper, and I have to do a better job of controlling that when things don't go well. He struck out a bunch lately, 10 times in his last 8 games. Earlier this year, he had a similar situation when he punched out 4 times in a game, twice over a 3-day period. They just gave him a 3-year, $23+ million extension. I mean, he owned it after the game, but that's why Chris Johnson had nothing to do with an injury or not feeling well. That's why Chris Johnson was removed from the game last night.
It's not the first time this year. Second time happened. The first time happened in April when he did the same thing. He had struck out 4 times in 3 days in 2 separate ball games and snapped, and Freddie set him down for a while. Put him in the corner. Just put your nose in there and leave it till you can act right.
Two-strike count on Simmons.
Yeah, they're going to go out and check. Wayne just took a really good shot right off of the mask. And with all the concussion stuff that goes on right now, Keith's going to come out and make sure he checks him really good. But it caught him pretty good. You get a fastball at 90-something moving, and that squared him up right in the forehead. And it's the jar of the neck. It's a lot of different things that happen in this thing. And he got a good one there. Keith making sure he's okay. And he's going to leave him right there. Yeah, it doesn't get said enough. Keith Duggar, one of the best, if not the best trainer in all of baseball.
Got a great demeanor about him. He's always very calm.
Doesn't do any good to get excited and worried. His assistant, Scotty Garrett. Scotty Mariama is the coordinator that does a lot of the rehabs back in Denver when guys are hurt.
Not necessarily where Juan wanted it, but he gets a strikeout of Andrelton Simmons. We'll go to the third. The Rockies up 1-0 on the Kadire home run. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Escape. Smart, safe, and fun to drive. Ford Escape. Go further. By Inova Cancer Care. Treat prostate cancer painlessly in only 5 sessions with minimal side effects. Visit InovaCC.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Capitol Building in downtown Atlanta. It is a splendid day. Beautiful afternoon. Albeit a bit warm for my taste, but George sipping on that sweet tea. You're in a good place, Frazier.
Come on, let's go. You're in the South. Have a little sweet tea.
Yeah. 0-1 on Juan Nicasio, and that's not going to get it done. 0-2.
And on a hot day like this, a lot of times as a pitcher, yeah, you want to hit. Yeah, you're thinking about running the bases. But in reality, hey, get back to the dugout, let the offense work. You take care of the mound situation. If you're wondering a lot of times in this humidity and how hot it is, I go back to the days of AstroTurf in the late 70s and early 80s, playing in cities like Cincinnati in the middle of the summer. St. Louis was a home team of mine. Trainers did a great job of filling up ammonia buckets, and they would put the water in ammonia, soak the towels in ice water, wrap around the jugglers, and bring you back in a hurry.
Well, Walt was telling a story, and you know this to be true because you played a lot of turf games, is that when they'd come back in, they'd put their feet, their spikes in the trays with the ice in it.
Well, it was the plastic spikes, because plastic just came in the late 70s, early 80s. The white plastic, and it had rivets, and those rivets would get hot. I mean, there's days on the turf in St. Louis, 130, 135 degrees on the turf. And I remember George Hendricks coming in. That ball's hit well.
Yeah, this ball's
center.
really hit well right center, and Upton makes the catch.
Second time Barnes has hit the ball hard. Left center in his first at bat, right center in his second at bat. He smoked that thing. But to make a long, he'd come in and just basically dunk his shoes in an ice bucket and change the shoes out every inning.
It was so hot, those things would melt.
It's miserable, I can tell you now. The most weight I ever lost in 2 innings was 14 pounds in St. Louis in a July game. It's crazy.
2 outs, Drew Stubbs at the plate. He bounced to short his first time up. Big hole up the middle. They play Simmons literally in the 5.5 hole. And Chris Johnson, look at this alignment.
Oh, second base is playing basically up the middle also.
And that's where actually Stubbs hit it his first time. Right at Simmons.
You go back and you start to look at spray charts. Stubbs on the year, 30 hits coming into this ball game. 24 were the left to second base.
1 and 2 on Stubbs, who's hitting .409 in May, which is third best in the National League. Yasiel Puig at .418. Seth Smith at .415. Troy Tulowitzki is fourth at .394. Michael Kadire, a home run leading off the second inning on a 3-0 pitch. Rockies up 1-0. They led 1-0 last night. Minor won a postseason game last year. He beat the Dodgers in the division series. Went 6 1/3, allowed just 1 run. And again, he comes inside. So it's 3-2 now. Stubbs, one of many in the Rockies lineup, ripping left-handed pitching. He's hitting .395 coming in against lefties.
Now, because you have 6 outfielders, you could put in the platoon situation where he's only facing left-handers more than right-handers. So they're obviously taking advantage of it.
Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Tulowitzki popped to short his first time. See if Stubbs looks to gamble early.
I mentioned earlier in the telecast, Gaddis 7 of 20, excuse me, I'll tell you a second, 7 of 25 would be base stealers. Left-hander on the mound can freeze you at times unless that lead leg gets behind the rubber, then he's committed to the plate.
Not going to go here. 2-0. Troy looking for that first knock against Mike Minor. We showed you last night, Troy, for whatever reason, and part of it's the Braves always have great pitching, has not swung the bat particularly well at Turner Field. Average just above 200. He takes off 2-0 surprisingly, and he steals the bag easily.
5th time Stubbs has been successful getting into scoring position with a stolen base. Huge jump at first base. You see, as soon as the leg picked up, and a little bit of hesitation at the top of Minor's delivery, which gives you more time as a base stealer.
And it's 3-0 on Troy. Kadire on deck. That pitch, I mean, look how far inside that pitch is, Frage.
Yeah, that's a little bit tough for me. Really is. I mean, it's well off of it. This has set.
Troy didn't say much there, but if that's a third strike and you get rung up on that, it's a great piece in Sports Illustrated in the last couple of weeks about the number of strikeouts in Major League Baseball. Last year, he was around 20%, and it's closer to 21% right now of outs recorded, which is the highest it has ever been. This ball rifled foul. 3-2. And there's a lot of factors. There's, the belief that, strikeouts aren't as bad a thing as they were 25 years ago. You'd rather have some guys strike out but take big swings because they're going to run into some pitches with those big swings and produce a higher slugging percentage. And there's also the thought that the umpires don't call the high strike anymore, but call more east-west off the plate either way.
Well, they wanted them to rise, bring up the strike zone 3 or 4 years ago, and they really kind of made that implementation that they wanted them to do that inside to Tulowitzki.
So back-to-back walks, and here comes Kadire.
Yeah, back in the second inning, he came up, nobody on, and put the Rockies on top in a hurry in left center field on a line drive home run over the 380 mark. That put the Rockies on top 1-0. He'll get a swing at it now with the runner in scoring position.
Yesterday, the Rockies were just 1 for 9 runners in scoring position. Atlanta wasn't much better. They were 0 for 11 at one point, and then the 12th was the Laird base hit. That is foul. That turned out to be the game winner against Adam Ottavino in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the 0-1. And Cuddy thought that was in. And look at that, man. That's the third time that Lance Barksdale. And listen, if it's a little bit off the red mark of the Ford strike zone, you say, okay, close enough. I mean, that's 3 or 4 inches in.
Difficult to hit, fun to pitch if you're going to get that every time.
Two on and 2 outs. 1-2. Trying to utilize that inside corner with the cutter. 2-2. And again, this is done differently for each hitter. It's not just some rectangle we throw up there and it's the same whether the guy's 5'9" or 6'4". In the air to fairly deep center field, but B.J. Upton will make the play, and the Rockies will leave 2 on in the 3rd inning. They have a 1-0 lead. Time for you to tweet us your Rockies fan photos using the hashtag #COFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout from Atlanta, Georgia. It's good to be in the land of sweet tea and humidity.
You're not kidding. This is great. Casio's throwing good. Rockies are winning 1-0. What else you want on a Saturday afternoon?
For Juan to continue to throw the ball well, Rockies get a W down here. It's been hard for the Rockies to produce wins in Atlanta. Ramiro Pena will lead things off. He's batting 8th. Mike Minor, and then the top of the order. And Pena takes a strike on the outside corner. Braves are 17-9 at Turner Field this year. And Pena lines it to center. It's going to hold up for Drew Stubbs.
I'll ask about the Rockies' buy one, get one free sweet offer. There are 16 BOGO dates for the rest of the season, so call today. Go to 303 Rockies or make sure you do it early because space is limited on the suites.
Mike Minor, one of those odd guys who throws lefty and bats righty. 2 for 10 this year.
That's why the big protection up on that left elbow. It's throwing arm forward, much like Randy Johnson used to wear the Barry Bonds shield when he hit.
And a slider for a strike. It's 0-2. Let's go back to the 09 draft because Mike Minor was the 7th pick in that 09 draft. Steven Strasburg went number 1. Look at that. Minor has more wins than Strasburg. Now we know Strasburg had Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, he missed a year and a half.
But he's 8 games over 500. Mike Leake was drafted at Arizona State by Cincinnati right behind him. Shelby Miller was in that draft. Rockies with the 34th pick got their setup man Rex Brothers. Minor's gone, 2 outs, 3rd strikeout for Juan.
Yeah, you know what? Are you going to call low strike? Going to call the in-strike strike? Call the low strike. I like it.
Ball 1 on Hayward. He popped to second on a 3-2 pitch. 11-game hitting streak for Jason. Career best is 12. Managers have a lot of time to think, George, in the offseason. And one of the things that Freddie Gonzalez thought about was Jason Hayward batting leadoff more frequently. Well, he's been entrenched now as their leadoff hitter because they don't have a guy on their roster that you just say, man, that's a leadoff guy.
Well, the thing is, too, in the leadoff position, you're told to what? Try to walk, get on base, set things up for people. And Freddie's Jason's a home run hitter, a line drive doubles guy. But I think it made him be more patient at the plate, get better pitches to hit.
3-1. He went breaking ball 3-1. He walks Jason Hayward. B.J. Upton will come up. BJ on that, fouls it straight back. Rockies in 2009, by the way, we didn't mention, took Tyler Matzik. Matzik continues to be a starting pitcher now at the AAA level.
And he's pitched well with the exception of 2 games. He's pitched very well. His command is starting to come around. The velocity in the fastball coming back. The sharpness in the breaking ball.
Ball and a strike on Upton. Grounded out to third his first time up. Major League draft, it's different than the NFL because you go to the minor leagues and there's no guarantee you make it. 13 of the 30 first-round picks from 2009 have not seen the big leagues yet. It's basically half. Another first-round pick of the Rockies out of Oregon, Tyler Anderson, though he had a semi-rough outing last night, has been pitching well down in Tulsa, George, your hometown. He still has a 2.9 ERA.
With that horrible outing he had yesterday, he got beat up pretty good yesterday. First time all year that he did get into the 4th or beyond the 4th inning of a ball game. He has really turned strides. The one start I saw, he was set 90-94. Pretty good breaking ball to go along with it. Excellent changeup. Got a little bit of a weird arm action, deceptive to the hitter at home plate. Christian Friedrich, coming off all the injuries a year ago, has kind of bounced back and forth. Good outing, bad outing, good outing, good outing, bad outing. And he's still feeling his way through after all the disappointing time he had to spend on the DL last year, but staying healthy, that's the key. Pettis threw yesterday, threw very well. Chad. Chris Martin picked up the save yesterday, an inning, and struck out a couple of guys. Greg Burke is throwing the ball well out of the bullpen in Colorado Springs. Rob Scahill, with the exception of 1 or 2 outings, has been a lights out in Colorado Springs.
Willeen goes out and visits with Nicasio. Tulowitzki will join. 2 balls, 2 strikes on B.J. Upton in a 1-0 game. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Giants won late last night behind Tim Lincecum. Beat the Twins 6-2, and Clayton Kershaw, after a very bad outing for him, for anybody, bounced back and looked like Clayton Kershaw's. The Dodgers won yesterday. Here's the strikeouts. There's the NL West. That's what I thought we were going to. Giants 30-18, Rockies 4 back, Dodgers 4.5 back. Did he go?
Yeah, I want to mention something real quickly for Willeen Rosario, because I had Dougie look this up today. Rosario on the season, 1 pass ball. That's how much improvement you've seen behind the plate. And I know he's missed some time this year and on the disabled list, but 1 pass ball. He's thrown out nearly 30% of would-be base stealers.
And George, he cut the pass balls in half from last year, from 2012.
And if you talk to him, bad ankle the 1 year, the knee was bad, everything. I mean, a lot of things wrong physically. He's healthy now after the viral infection moving forward, but still one of those guys that vast improvement behind the plate.
Runner will be off 3-2. And that's fouled off. Here's what I always felt was really important in the equation defensively for Willeen. You know he's a top shelf offensive player, particularly as a catcher. Big time pop. He's hit around 290. How important was it to him when you have that kind of offensive ability to be as strong defensively? And the answer to that is very, very important. He does not want to be defined just by his bat. And that's a base hit up the middle. Hayward's going to go first to third. B.J. Upton, who's been struggling with the bat, has his third hit in this series. And the crowd's excited, and they're doing the tomahawk chop because Freddie Freeman's coming up.
Look at this slider that backed up, trying to take the ball to the outer half, and it just didn't get out front on it as a pitcher, and that's what happens. It'll back up and become a very hittable fastball at 85, 86 miles an hour.
Nicasio pitched around Freeman, even though there was 2 outs and nobody on his first time up. A little more difficult to do that here. Freddie's 5 for 8 against Juan with 3 home runs. Freeman 2 for his last 14 overall at the plate.
When a guy's 5 for 8 against you, typically you see the ball out of the hand very well. But the other side of this, there's not a lot of history because the Rockies only played the Braves 6 times. Juan may not see them as often as usual, even though we're 0-3 in his career. I still think, you know, the history, you've got to be able to look at what they've done, how they changed their delivery, their pitch selection, as they've gotten older and farther into the game.
Now you're 3-0 on Freeman. Can you show somebody almost too much respect?
Absolutely.
And he walked him on 4 pitches. So Nicasio now has to deal with the bases loaded and Justin Upton. Pitching away from contact when Freddie Freeman comes up. And he did the same thing, I think, with Jason Hayward. With 2 outs and nobody on, he walked him. And that's really how this whole thing got precipitated, because B.J. Upton had a good at-bat.
He had a very good at-bat, and it comes up with a base hit. So now you've got to sit and let the brother see if he can do the dirty work for you. The bases loaded, 2 outs. And as a pitching coach, you could walk to the mound here and say, where you feel most comfortable right now, delivery or stretch with 2 outs. I don't think they're going to squeeze. But I want to go my delivery. Okay, go delivery. You want to stay in your stretch? Stay in your stretch. Hey, follow every Rockies game with MLB.com at-bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get instant replay, score, stats, audio, and a whole lot more.
Hayward's at third, Upton is at second, and Freddie Freeman is at first. Justin Upton's at the plate. He struck Upton out his first time.
All heaters, all elevated.
Yep. First 2 were up and in, and then he painted away for called strike 3. He goes first pitch slider, and it's 0-1.
And that's on Moline. Moline thinking in his mind, I went fastball 3 in a row. He struck him out the last time, and Upton a very good fastball hitter. I'm going to go breaking ball early. That also may have been on the advice from Jim Wright out to the mound during that timeout. Out to the mound when he walked the bases loaded.
Nicasio's never beaten the Braves. He came in with an ERA above 9 against Atlanta.
Yeah, 982, 0-3 in his career. Just make a good pitch here, get you a ground ball, fly ball out, and get in the dugout.
And this is looped in foul ground to Justin Morneau, and Nicasio gets out of it. The Braves will leave him loaded in the third. Colorado 1, Atlanta nothing as we go to the 4th inning. And the Rockies will have Rosario leading off. All right, Jenny, thanks very much. The Rockies leading 1-0 on the Michael Kadire home run. As we go to the 4th inning, Willeen Rosario is going to lead it off. And we talked about this earlier, George. It's so important for the Rockies to get somewhat of a significant lead and stay out of that real sticky part of that Atlanta
Well,
bullpen.
there's no question. And Juan did a good job there in this sticky part of that lineup you talk about. Even though he walked Freeman and he had the bases loaded, he was able to work out of that situation to maintain the 1-0 lead. Add to what you've got going on right now.
Easy play at second for Pena, and Rosario is retired. That'll bring to the plate Justin Morneau. Morneau called down on a questionable third strike his first time up, and he takes inside ball 1. Rockies are 8-8 this year against left-handed starters, despite hitting a very robust .314 against lefties. First 5 guys in the Rockies lineup, listen to this. Brandon Barnes, .325 against lefties coming in. Stubbs, .395. Tulowitzki, .444. Kadire, .455. Rosario, .333. Morneau's at .288 against lefties. 1-2.
Well, a lot of times you would have seen a platoon situation today. It may be Morneau getting a day off, but with the injury to Arenado, you can't take these RBIs and his ability to hit the ball out of the park, out of the lineup. This was an everyday guy to begin with anyway. .288 against lefties, that's nothing to be ashamed about. Left on left, obviously, very good average.
2-2. Minor last year won 13 games with a 3.21 ERA. Double figure winner 2 years ago also. He was over 200 innings last year. He has led the Braves in innings pitched each of the last 2 seasons. And the Rockies will see the new ace for the Braves tomorrow, Julio Teheran.
The survival of the aces. They got so many guys getting hurt with Medlin, Beachy going down. Now tomorrow's starter, 3-3 so far, 192 earned run average in 10 starts, 70 innings, 49 hits. Pretty good.
Good at bat for Justin. It's 3-2.
I think the Braves made the right choice when Arizona came knocking on the door trying to make a trade with him. They said they wanted Teheran. They said, no, you can have Delgado. The Braves knew what they had in Teheran.
And this time that pitch is called a ball and a 1-out walk for Justin Morneau. This afternoon's Cool Stat is brought to you by Steel Tea Heating and Air. Never a trip charge with a repair. That's a $69 value. Go to steeltea.com. Steel Tea, the T stands for trust. Charlie Culberson coming up now. His grandfather, he's a baseball family. His dad heavily involved in the game. Leon, his grandfather, played in the big leagues for 6 years with Boston and Washington. And he batted .269 in his career. Played in the '46 World Series. He was an outfielder. Charlie, a sharp single to right, his first time up.
With Culberson up, and he shot that ball through the right side with a line drive. You look now the way they set up defensively. You're still pull on this left side of your infield. Your second baseman here, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult on a double play ball. He's going to have to catch it on a ball hit to him. A long run for Simmons to try to get to. Oh, it's going to happen. You got speed of Culberson anyway, so I mean it's going to be difficult to turn that corner.
Look at that pitch.
Come on, another one. Constant. Well, the umpires get a report. See, to me, when I'm looking at that on television, it not only appears in, it appears low. Their camera angle, they're just directly over the top of the pitcher in center field. But the umpires will get a report mailed to them the next day on percentages. And when we had the meeting with Joe Torre in New York a couple of years ago, Joe said, you know what? He said, our umpires are right about 98% of the time on ball strikes, or 97% of the time. He said, we're not going to get all of them. We understand that. But they'll get a report tomorrow, emailed to them. And it's not some umpire going in there watching a TV going, oh, wait, no, I thought that was a strike. No, it's all on computer. They have a few more cameras in the ballpark.
DJ pops this up shallow right. Hayward's got the play, and that's all for the Rockies. Justin Morneau left at first base. Middle of 4, 1-0 Colorado. Kadire, a home run.
back in Atlanta going bottom 4, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. If you're a Rockies fan, you should know that Vinny Castilla was originally an Atlanta Brave. He didn't wear 9 when he first started here. He wore the number 45. He came back in Atlanta. He didn't wear 9 either because Terry Pendleton, who is the first base coach of the Braves currently, he was wearing number 9. Well, it's been an eventful weekend for Vinny Castilla. Made his first trip to Cooperstown to the Hall of Fame, and today he took part in the 6th annual Hall of Fame Classic. Each team sends a retired player to play. Vinny represented the Rockies. Hideki Matsui was there for the Yankees, Jack Clark for the Padres, Steve Garvey even for the Dodgers. And Vinny, when asked about hitting, because he hasn't really swung a bat in a game since 2010, you know what he said, Drew and George? It's like riding a bike. I'll make contact. So we'll have to find out how he did. But first time for him at Cooperstown. I'm sure he and his family enjoyed this weekend, this Memorial Day weekend.
I will guarantee you that Vinny was ready to hit more than any other guy there, because Vinny still sneaks into the cage at Coors Field, sometimes underneath, sometimes out on the field. He still loves to swing the bat, and he still can. 1-0 on Evan Gattis. He almost took Troy Tulowitzki's glove off on a line shot in the 2nd inning. Rockies up on the Kadire home run. Rockies have 2 hits. The Braves just 1. One ball, 1 strike. Gattis last year in his rookie season hit 21 home runs while batting .243. 23rd round pick of the Braves in 2010. Inside, it's 3-1. Juan's doing a nice job, George, but if he wants to be around for the long haul, he's going to have to turn these counts around.
Turn it back to your favor. This is a lineup that can get after you at times, and that's what you got to be careful with, particularly this guy. 8 home runs, 18 RBIs.
And that bounces up there, a leadoff walk. 4 walks now for Nicasio. Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, instant replay will be used to determine the outcome. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Juan got a win against Texas. He gave up 2 hits in that game, but he walked 5, but he was able to only go 5 innings. He threw 88 pitches.
Interesting thing about it is when he was coming up in the minor leagues, and you saw him several different times, George, he was a command, power arm, power fastball. He threw in the upper 90s at times, but he had great fastball command. And we see some starts where there's upside down counts and a number of walks. And he's throwing the ball well. They're not hitting him hard today, but he's putting guys on base.
Well, you have to be able to go out and slow the game down. That's the important thing. That's what Wayne did right there. You just go out and slow the game down for that starting pitcher. Start thinking your way through it. Don't get in a hurry about things. Not easy to do a lot of times.
Chris Johnson with a 1-0 count and a 2-0 count. Doug DeCenzo hops out of the way.
You remember Doug played at Oklahoma State University, one of the recruits for Dave Holliday, Tom Holliday.
Really?
Middle infielder, you bet. Played there, if I'm not mistaken, he played alongside Freddie Ocasio, the manager in Asheville.
Brian Jones has all their autographs when he was growing up. Rockies video coordinator, went to Oklahoma State. Here's the 2-1. That's in there, 2-2.
Oklahoma State, I believe, playing Texas today in the championship of the Big 12 tournament. Josh turned that program around at Oklahoma State.
Figured he would. spent some time at Arizona State. He was at Vanderbilt. Swung on and missed, and Nicasio comes back and fans Chris Johnson. One out. That'll bring up Andrelton Simmons.
And that's what he could do. And he has the ability to do that. You go, well, where did it go for that time frame? And come right back at it and get it by a lot of people. Right now, the Shadows are going to play a little bit of a role here at Turner Field, only because they're starting to come over that home plate area. So you got a hard thrower on the mound. Late jump, late life on a fastball. You can get it by some guys. You got it by Johnson.
Nicasio struck out Simmons in the second inning to end the second inning. That's not easy to do. Simmons, the toughest guy in the league to strike out once every 11 plus at bats. Toughest guys to fan in the National League, Denard Span of Washington, and then Charlie Blackmon. And also, surprisingly, because Morneau's been a power guy in his career, Justin Morneau. I've said this a few times of late. He has, I can't remember a bad at bat from Morneau this year. What I mean by bad at bat, you know, where you get badly fooled out on the front side or roll over. Obviously, you make outs. It's baseball. You strike out.
He's battled injuries for 2 years. He's finally feeling healthy, the MVP type healthy. You know, not to say he's going to be the MVP in the National League, but when he was in the American League, when you're feeling 100% healthy, it makes it a lot of fun to play this game.
Morneau, 2 outs. Simmons retired, and that'll bring up Ramiro Pena. Well, Morneau is a great source along with Kadire, guys that have been in the league starters for around a decade, in reference to how the pitching's even changed in the last 10 years. I was referencing the article in Sports Illustrated earlier in the ball game. Fastball, average major league fastball 10 years ago was just a tick under 90 miles an hour. Now it's basically 92 miles an hour. It's up 2 miles an hour in a decade. And I asked Morneau about that today, and he said without question, it used to be you wanted to get the starter out of there to get into the bullpen. He said, but the guy that may come in the 5th or 6th inning, he's probably a young guy who's blowing 95, 96 typically.
Well, and you look back in time, the closer became so prominent. Dennis Eckersley, guys like this that were the 1-inning guys. Starters worked into the 6th, 7th, had the 1-inning guy. Now you got full bullpens. As you look at the Rockies bullpen down here, and specialization is an awfully big thing now.
And it's specialization. Here's the 0-1. It's specialization, but it's also guys who come out of the pen in the 6th, 7th inning who throw as hard as the guys who do in the late innings typically.
The specialty guys, the one that can trick you into hitting the ground ball and getting a double play ball, and now you got power arms. Guys are building their bullpens with power arms.
You look at the Rockies group. You know, Hawkins, he's 41. He'll touch 95. He'll sit 93, 94. Rex throws hard. Massett's throwing 92 to 94 again. Ottavino, who's known for his slider, he still sits 93, 94 with his fastball. Canely will run it up to 97.
Well, the key to all of it is command of the power. You got command of that kind of power, then it's a lot of fun. But you've got a lot of experience sitting down there in that bullpen.
1-2 on Pena. They just 149 against righties. The other thing that's changed, guys who threw 95, George, they were rare. I was talking to Walt about that. He said, you know, you'd go to Toronto. Remember Tom Henke? He'd roll out of the bullpen. He said, man, this guy throws gas. He's 95. They're a dime a dozen now.
Yeah, dime a dozen, but they're not a dime a dozen that can throw it with command, and I think that's the separator.
That's pulled foul.
That's why so many ball clubs still look for the 89 to 91 guy that can put the ball on the ground with command to get out of innings in the 7th inning. And I go back and look, in 2009, this team was extremely successful because of Matt Daly and his ability to shut a game down and give you a couple of innings in the middle of a game. When you trail 4-0, you look up, it's 4-2, then you get to the back end of the bullpen and you win the game. But you get in that 7th, 8th, and 9th, you want a guy that can punch somebody out.
Pena keeping the at-bat alive. Gaddis at first base. He walked leading off the inning. Then Johnson struck out. Simmons popped out. Pitch count at 70 for Nicasio. Higher than you'd like it to be after 3 2/3.
Interesting note. Just had Doug look this up when Drew and I were discussing the Rockies bullpen. I thought about it. How many career games do you think are in the Rockies bullpen appearances? 2,411.
Well, there's a lot because almost 1,000 of those are owned by LaTroy Hawkins. Matt Belisle's thrown a ton. Forgot about Matt a moment ago. Matt lately has been touching 93, 94. And you got Boone Logan, who's thrown a lot of games with Belisle and Hawkins. In the air to center field. Stubbs got to come hard now, and he'll make a sliding grab. Drew Stubbs with that recovery speed. Talk about it with cornerbacks. Nice to have it with center fielders also. 1-0 Rockies as we go to the 5th. Here's today's First Bank game recap. Paying for checking's a thing of the past. Get First Bank free checking at efirstbank.com. It's only been 3 hits. Nicasio has pitched out of 1 jam. He's pitched well. Mike Minor's pitched well. The difference, a Michael Kadire second inning home run on a 3-0 pitch. Top of the 5th. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Rockies. Nicasio struck out in the 3rd. Brandon Barnes will bat second. Is tattooed the ball twice, nothing to show for it. Deep left center field, tracked down by B.J. Upton, and deep right center field, tracked down by B.J. Upton. I haven't seen that before. That Michael Kadire taking a look at the media guide. Is that a Rockies media guide or a Braves media guide?
No, it's Braves media guide. You're just kind of looking at strikeouts, what they've done, where they've been, those kind of things. Looking down in your bullpen, who's down there. Latch has it. There's a guy that they keep one of those on the dugout with him all the time.
I've never seen that before.
You came to the park, you get to see something new again.
Oh, okay. Got a wife and 3 kids.
Likes to water ski. I mean, I know when they used to fill a lot of things out in those as a player, you know, what are your hobbies? Every single guy you look up, like play golf and fish.
You know what it is today?
Hunt.
A lot of it's hunt. Some play video games.
I don't know how many guys are playing video games today. About 3 or 4 years ago, they lived in them. They loved them. Hauled them on the road with them everywhere.
Well, whoever that player is, it's fascinating reading for Cuddy. Brandon Barnes, as we mentioned, hit the ball hard twice. Deep left center, deep right center. And he hits it hard again, but another out of ball at Pena, 2 outs.
Saturday, June 7th is Rapid City Road to Rushmore Day Getaway Day. All kids will receive a Kids Carlos Gonzalez jersey, and random fans will win Road to Rushmore vacation packages courtesy of Rapid City. Get your tickets to this ball game versus the Dodgers today, and don't forget, all the kids, Carlos Gonzalez jersey. June 7th, the ball game will happen against the Los Angeles Dodgers. 303 Rockies on the phone. Rockies.com/promotions on the computer.
Carlos Gonzalez, batting practice out on the field today. Inching closer, returning. 2-strike count on Drew Stubbs. Ground ball to short and a walk. Still 1-2. And the funny thing is, we just, we'll tell the story when we come back about who Michael Kadire was reading about. Stubbs strikes out. Minor works a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Middle of 5. 1-0 Rockies. Dyer home run in the second. It'll be 9-1-2 in the bottom of the 5th for Juan Nicasio. So Michael Kadire was reading the media guy. We showed that. One of our camera guys was able to ask him, who you reading about, because we're showing a shot of it. He goes, the Upton brothers, which is funny because Michael knows Justin and BJ really, really well. They all grew up in the same area. In fact, and we've told this story before, Michael's wife, Claudia, as a young teacher, had in high school Justin Upton in her class. I guess he's making sure the information in there is accurate.
I guess so. I was going to have some fun with it, and I just couldn't do it.
Well, he played with BJ on a fantastic team out of that Chesapeake, Virginia area. Ryan Zimmerman's out of there. David Wright. Kind of the first guy to come through there was Kadire. I used to say when BJ was playing on that team with Wright and Zimmerman, the bad boy was Justin. Not long after, they realized, you know what? We ought to put him in the lineup. Justin was one of those phenoms. I think by the time he was a sophomore, everybody in baseball knew who he was.
Prince Fielder. Type of shocking. No, I was going to have fun with that. Oh, I'm looking at the book. Hey, these guys went to the same high school. Hey, this is really weird. They're unbelievably, it's the same mom and dad have the same name for both guys. What are they? Oh, that's right, they're brothers.
It was a great story. Remember last year's Hayward steps in with one out. Or I think it was 2 years ago now. They both hit on the same day their 100th home run. BJ for Tampa. It was 2 years ago. BJ for Tampa, and at the time Justin for Arizona. Same day. One ball, one strike. It's our Toyota Talk inning. What is the new Turner Field going to be like? We got a picture of it. We have the artist rendering right after this pitch. High, deep fly, right center. Kadire hoping for a play. Will have one. That's a great catch. Long run. Have to find the wall and the ball almost simultaneously.
Well, the biggest problem he had to fight was the sun, because it's right above the third base side where this ball was hit out of. Kadire took off on it. That's why you see a little bit of the redirection, because of fighting the sun and running to the point. Nicasio's like, get it, baby. Yeah.
Okay, I can breathe again. Here's BJ Upton. And there's an artist rendering. Being Cobb County. I was talking to a gentleman who's worked at this ballpark for a long time.
Is that a water park out in center field?
They're going to have a lot of shops, and they're really excited about it. It's going to be a special place, not just for ball games, but for dining and other activities as well.
So what are they going to do with this one? Donate it to Georgia Tech?
Georgia State. There's some talk Georgia State may play football and baseball here. I don't think anything's finalized. One, two, way inside. There's another question for Toyota Talk. What's the outlook in the NL East?
Well, I think it always starts with the Atlanta Braves, but the surprise team has been Miami with the loss of Fernandez, still in second place there.
And Washington's very talented also. 3-2. The Nationals are at 500, just 3.5 back. The Mets have kind of been a surprise hanging around. And the Phillies.
The Phillies are always going to be a dangerous team. They're getting old, but they still play good baseball.
Braves won the division by 10 games last year over Washington. 3-2 on BJ Upton. And BJ pops it up. Morneau's going to have a play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Juan Nicasio. Quick inning as well as we go to the 6th. The Rockies up 1-0. Tulowitzki, Kadire, Rosario in the 6th inning. Thanks again for tweeting in your questions during Toyota Talk. For more answers, visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/RootSportsRM. Tulowitzki popped to short in a walk. Ready to face the 26-year-old Mike Minor, 6'4", 220. Tulowitzki here on May the 24th has an OPS of 1,200 on base and slugging percentage combined. That is the 7th highest for a right-handed hitter since 1900. Rogers Hornsby had the best in 1925, 1245. Rockies are 10-9 in the month of May with a week left. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. It's got a chance to fly. Upton at the wall is going to see it sail out. Didn't know if it would carry enough. Tulowitzki makes it 2-0 with his 14th of the year.
And that was a high drive out of this ballpark. I mean, Tulo got a hold of this thing, and you started to watch it. I mean, that's a strong man with some bat speed here.
Did it not go as high as it went far?
It's close. I mean, this ball was hit extremely high. And you saw how long Upton just sat on it. This is a high fastball, and to be able to drive a ball this high in the air and this far, it's pretty incredible by Tulowitzki. That's good to see. 14 home runs, 36 RBIs, and more importantly, the Rockies up 2-0. There's a good look at it. See Upton still tracking, and thinking, man.
And how about for Troy? First time he's ever hit a home run at Turner Field.
And first hit in his career against Minor. He was 0 for 9 prior to that.
Can't keep a good man down long. Here's Kadire 1-1, and it's now 1-2 count as he was out front on the off-speed delivery. Yeah, usually when a guy hits him, you can tell right away they're going to have a chance. That thing was so high, you're thinking, how far did he hit it?
And you look at the American flag here at Turner Field, it's going to right field, not left field as high as he hit it. He might have had some wind pushing it, but not here. That flag's bearing to the right pretty strong up above.
Strike 3 on Kadire. And that's the first out of the inning. 6 strikeouts for Minor. That home run by Tulo ties Giancarlo Stanton for the National League lead. Stanton hit 2 yesterday. Rosario fouls that off. Willeen punches this just out of the reach of Freddie Freeman. Start peeking ahead to teams you don't see that are coming up on the schedule. George, the Indians beat the Orioles today 9-0 at Camden Yards. Corey Kluber is having a heck of a year throwing the baseball. He beat Ubaldo Jimenez today, and the Rockies will see Kluber next week.
They're all starting to play better in the East. I mean, they really are. The Yankees, Red Sox are playing better baseball. Cleveland in the Central right now is playing good baseball. So things starting to get straightened up a little bit from where everything thought. It thought it'd be Detroit, Cleveland fighting it out in the Central.
may very well be by the end, along with Kansas City.
2-2. He's in 3-2. Rockies have to get off that number 2. Tulowitzki's home run makes it 2-0, but in their last 4 road games, 5 including today, they have scored 2 runs or less. I need not tell you your margin for error when you have 2 runs to get a W is slim.
Particularly with this lineup, the guys that with one swing could be a difference in a ball game. Gaddis, Freeman, Hayward, the Uptons.
Two outs. Chris Johnson makes the play. And Justin Morneau will take his turn. The day after every Rockies win, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Strikeout and a walk for Morneau. Shadows with this start time. This will be the situation tomorrow also. Pitchers in the sun and batter's boxes in shadows. And it's actually a little easier in this situation as opposed to the other way around when the pitcher's in the shadow and you're in the sunlight. 2-2. Coming up on 6 o'clock local time. In the air to left field. Upton started back, comes in, makes a catch. Rockies extend their lead at 2-0. 2 solo home runs. Michael Kadire in the second, and leading off the 6th inning, Troy Tulowitzki with his 14th of the season.
The Braves won 14 straight NL East titles, and the world champions reside here in Atlanta from 1995. 3 familiar names are going into the Hall of Fame. It's our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Bobby Cox, Tom Glavine, and Greg Maddux. That will happen later this year. But is that how many is going off that team, Walt Weiss?
I think Smoltz will end up in Cooperstown. I think Chipper Jones will, and so it's been the last 3 years of my career, you know, and to be able to spend it, you know, on a club like that and go out that way on a great team was very gratifying, and it's one of the things I cherish about, you know, my career when I look back on it.
Yeah, George, Walt played here 98, 99, 2000. Those three teams won a combined 304 games and lost the World Series in 99. He had a funny comment when asked about signing here and hitting against Greg Maddux. He said, I was in the visiting team hotel, and it was the first time I had a good night's sleep because I knew I didn't hit against Maddux and Glavine anymore.
A lot of guys that became Maddox's teammate felt the same way, I'm sure. Walt, the postseason seemed to follow Walt around, didn't it? Here's the 0-1 to Freddie Freeman, and it's pulled weakly to first. Morneau, good feed to Nicasio, and that's a huge first out. Let's go back to 99, and this is the NLDS. The winning runs at third, bases are loaded. This ball smoked up the middle against Houston, and a great play by Walt Weiss to keep Atlanta in at a ball game they would win later on. They would go on to win that division series. Ken Caminetti, the late Ken Caminetti, out on the force at the plate. Walt could pick it, he could throw it, and he was a real solid offensive player. He had a terrific career, the former American League Rookie of the Year.
Well, you start talking about, you know, coming to the big leagues in '87, Rookie of the Year in '88, and then playing and talking about retiring when you start saying 99, 2000. That's 13, 14 years as an everyday guy. And when he played, they played every day.
Walt got to play in 3 World Series. 2 NLCSs, 4 ALCSs. Career .970 fielding percentage at shortstop.
Make sure you visit the rooftop at Coors Field. Arrive early, pregame festivities and beer specials before the first pitch. The rooftop is the place to be during baseball season. Call the Rockies 303 Rockies or go to Rockies.com/rooftop.
Two and one on Justin Upton. Good slider. 2-2.
Command of the secondary stuff seems to be growing with the game progressing deeper into the ball game. He's in the 6th inning now. Nicasio has thrown 90 pitches, 54 for strikes, 36 balls. His ERA at game time was .403. It has now been dropped to .365.
Here's something, George, out on the road, because people always say, all right, Coors Field, Rockies offensive numbers, yada, yada, yada. Sick of always talking about that, I know. So how do the Rockies pitchers do home versus road? Well, they had a lower home ERA than road ERA. This ball is going to be a base hit, and it's going to be a tweener. Upton a 1-out double. The Rockies came into this ball game 18th in Major League Baseball in road ERA, somewhere in the middle. But check this out: 11th in batting average against on the road, just .249. Atlanta with the #1 ERA in baseball on the road, away from Turner Field. The league hits .251 against it. So the Rockies actually produced a lower batting average than this vaunted Brave staff when you compare road versus road.
The Rockies pitching staff, if you look at the numbers at Coors Field, they say you can't pitch there. They do a pretty good job of it, particularly De La Rosa, Nicasio, Chacin.
Evan Gaddis at the plate. Matt Belisle not getting loose for this inning if Nicasio would need help in the 6th. You don't see big men like this who hit for power hit out of a crouch very frequently anymore.
A lot of leg drive. You know, the last guy that hit like this, you know, you think back, Bagwell, the first baseman, really wide stance, squatted down heavily on that back leg, got his hand set right off the hip, and it generated a lot of bat speed. He knew he strike zone.
Gaddis is 6'4", listed at 260.
Great story. I mean, basically quit the game of baseball and ends up being back here, hit a lot of home runs in the low minor leagues, and then boom, he was in the big leagues.
He's running a lift at Eldora for a little while. Living out of his car at one point. Two and one.
So you get through this half inning, and the bullpen starts to set up a little bit. Nicasio, 96 pitches right now. Most thrown in a ball game this year. 99. Did that a couple of times. His last start versus San Diego, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. Stood him up there. On a 2-2 count, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Got away from Juan Nicasio. Trying to go inside, bury it down in the zone. Instead, it got upright.
What, Rosario did a good job to catch that. One out, Justin Upton at second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Auto glass damage, trust Safelite online at safelight.com. Phone number 303-287-5000.
Similar situation a couple innings ago with 2 strikes, 3-2 count. Hard slider, he got the strikeout. See if he goes to it here.
Good play. Upton had to go back to the bag. So they're 2 outs. And that'll bring up Chris Johnson.
Rockies have controlled this Atlanta lineup when they've had runners in scoring position this weekend. They are 1 for 16 in the series. Johnson versus left-handed pitching has hit .440 this year. Right-handers just .234. Sets up well for Nicasio to get out of this inning.
Good looking pitch. Here are the top three in the batting race last year. They're all in the ballpark. Michael Kadire, 331. He entered play today hitting 329, virtually the same. Freddie Freeman, pretty similar. Johnson, there's been a drop off in the neighborhood of 60 points.
Got to quit throwing temper tantrums. Johnson's always been a pretty good fastball hitter, up and out at second base and 2 outs. The Rockies lead it 2-0 in this ball game. If you could pitch to him with the slider and keep it on the outer half of the plate and down. Don't get something where you spin it sideways, leave it in the middle of the plate.
Good pitch, no?
It's not. A little low. I think a lot of times too, as a catcher, when you drop to a knee, as you're receiving the ball, a lot of umpires think the ball was low. Most pitches Nicasio has thrown in a season this year, 102. He's due up third in the 7th.
And his next pitch will be 103. On the ground to second. DJ's got it. Good job, Juan Nicasio. Gave up a 1-out double to Justin Upton, and he trapped Upton at second base. We'll go to the 7th. The Rockies up 2-0 on a pair of solo home runs. Here's a Cooney Lexus look back. Michael Kadire in the 2nd inning leading off on a 3-0 pitch, and he got that one. He hit one last night also. And then leading off the 6th inning, Troy Tulowitzki, towering home run right down the left field line. His 14th of the year. And Juan Nicasio has allowed just 2 hits over 6 innings. He's controlled this Atlanta lineup. The Rockies up 2-0. That's our Cooney Lexus look back. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address open in Greenwood Village in Colorado Springs. Charlie Culberson, DJ LeMahieu, and Nicasio. High hopper, and it gets over Chris Johnson's head. And Culberson digging for second. Here's the throw from Upton. No throw. That's like a security field double down in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, no question about that. The high hop here kind of reminds me of the old ballpark here in Atlanta. It was like cement when playing in the infield. Kicks the ball the inner half of the plate, chops down, gets the high hop, and over the head of Chris Johnson, who was playing even with the bag. Only because he wanted to prevent the bunt, because they respect the speed of Culberson. Leadoff double, take advantage.
DJ squares around. He bunts it foul. Barnes was in the on-deck circle, and now he's traded places with Charlie Blackmon. And you may say, well, why would Walt do that, go left on left? Blackmon's hit lefties very well. I didn't say Barnes. Actually, Barnes was out there. It was Barnes, wasn't it? And he's not due up yet.
Well, a lot of times if you're going to pinch hit for the pitcher, you'll send up the guy in the dugout out and have him stand in the on-deck circle. It's a little cat and mouse game with the opposing manager. But the on-deck circle must be occupied for play to continue.
The options on the right side would be Rutledge and Pacheco. Pacheco is your backup catcher. You know the deal with that. You rarely use your backup catcher to pinch hit unless it's a desperate situation. 2-2. With 2 strikes, DJ's going to do all he can to move that ball to the right side and move Culberson to third with 1 out. Slowly hit. That'll get the job done. Simmons throws across, and DJ gets Culberson to third, 1 out. And Blackmon will pinch hit.
Charlie on the year has been called on to pinch hit. He's 2 for 6 with an RBI.
And he's hitting .314 against left-handed pitching. Miners only faced less than 15 lefties all year. 10 coming in. 4 for 10 were lefties. Everybody loading up on the right side against him. And that's in there for a strike. Infield's in naturally with the Rockies up 2-0 here in the 7th.
Pretty good swing on a breaking ball away. The Rockies lead the National, all of Major League, 297 with runners in scoring position. Second is Baltimore at 287 by 10. Charlie down 0-2 with a runner at third.
Charlie started in center field last night, was 0 for 4. They're going to come home with it. Freeman's throw. Got him.
Now Culberson looked back to the dugout at Walt. They want to make sure that tag got applied by Gaddis, and Walt's going to come out. Walt's going to come out and look to see if there needs to be a review by looking back to the dugout. Freeman, strong arm, strong throw, in a perfect position. Ooh, you know what?
That's going to be real close. We'll
yeah, it is. Now we got to get down the line angle on it here to see if he got his hand in before the tag. Did it get on the plate?
Oh, can we back that up a few frames, fellas? Stop. plate? Is there contact? And again, he's got to be enough to overrule.
I'm looking right here at the
call.
hands, what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but the glove's on the body now, too. How about 2 frames? Go back a couple frames. See if they are taking a look at it. This Manager's Challenge is brought to you by Subaru's Eyesight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives people peace of mind to every drive. Is there an angle that shows him touching it before the glove contacted the body? Can't tell there.
Yeah, I think it got him up on the hip before the hand got there. I just watched it on the big screen here at the ballpark. What do you got, Dougie? Safe or out?
Well, that's a heck of an effort. Culberson took
Better
out
believe
Lance
it is.
Barksdale also.
Now, Culberson double checked. I mean, he wanted to make sure that he'd got the bag, so he went back up and put his hands up. Yeah, he went over and made sure that he kind of put the hands up safe, looked at Walton, and he touched on home plate, too.
Trying to hunt a different angle. See if we can see something definitive. I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn that. It's hard to tell where the glove touches the body. You know, right there, it's a blur. Is it touching right now? If it's touching right now, he's out. It's impossible to tell. They can zoom in, too, in New York. Taking another frame, he's touching the plate. Who knows? Going to be real close. It would give the Rockies a 3-0 lead. So many people rail against a head-first slide. We saw what happened, unfortunately, to Nolan Arenado last night. There have been a number of injuries around baseball this year and every year with head-first slides. But if he doesn't slide head-first there, there's no way he's going to be able to create an opportunity to be safe.
The difference going into home plate, you've got a leg you're running into. When you're trying to be safe going into second or one of the bases, you're trying to get a hand on a base path, on a base sticking up out of the ground. That's where some of the injuries occur versus sliding over a flat base buried in the ground.
But as you pointed out, you do have the guy with shin guards too.
Yeah. Wheels kind of work around, maneuver on that, hopefully a little bit at times. But Gaddis, I mean, he had the plate blocked, but he had rightfully so.
The run will count, and the Rockies take a 3-0 lead.
Freddie's coming out. The bullpen had been going down there, and it's that will be it. Good contest there, I tell you that. Good hustle right there, Charlie Culberson. Way to go, Charlie. What a slide, buddy.
What a slide is right, George. Charlie Culberson with the fingertip getting on the plate before the tag. And a great challenge, obviously, by Walt Weiss and the video crew for the Rockies. And they take a 3-0 lead. And, of course, safe at first base is the pinch hitter, Charlie Blackmon. Barbaro is going to come in for Atlanta. 1 out in the 7th with the Rockies ahead 3-0. Move to third on the DJ LeMahieu ground out, and then scores on the fielder's choice off the bat of Charlie Blackmon. Great slide by Culberson. And the Rockies, for the first time in their last 5 road games, are off the number 2. They have 3 runs here as Anthony Varvaro comes on for the 18th time, and he'll face Brandon Barnes with Blackmon and a team leading 9 stolen bases at first base.
Favaro, very good arm. You saw the 22 strikeouts in 15 innings, so he has the ability to do that. Right on right with Barnes. You have Stubbs in the on-deck circle. You save your 2 left-handers. You don't plug them in now. You don't bring out Dickerson right now. Blackman's already gone, but you don't do that because in the 9th inning, if you need that left-handed bat to go face their bullpen. Charlie, 9 stolen bases on the year, is getting some attention.
Barnes hit the ball hard 3 times. Deep fly to left, deep line drive to right center, and a 1-hop smash at the second baseman Pena. And this ball up the middle. Simmons is there, and they turn it over. In the inning, the Rockies create a run. They're up 3-0. Stretch time in Atlanta. Nicasio held him to 2 hits in 6 innings. Matt Belisle is going to take over in the 7th inning. Here's our AT&T fan photo of the game. Charlie Blackmon signing an autograph. And the little kid saying, "Who are you with that big beard?" Tweet your photo to #COFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. So Matt Belisle pitching against the team that originally drafted him back in 1998 in the 2nd round, the Atlanta Braves. He moved on to Cincinnati in a trade for Kent Merker, the guy who pitched for the Rockies.
Good job by Nicasio, too. He'll hand the baton off to Matt Belisle. You'll be making his 20th appearance. Give up a home run the other day. Not a big deal. 20 hits in 19 innings, 12 strikeouts. He'll take that ratio, home run every 10 innings. Nicasio, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 103 pitches. Great outing. Dougie, Drew's disputing your 3 walks. He says there's 4.
He had 4. 4 walks, 5 punch outs. 1 ball, 1 strike. That doesn't count as well as he used to. And Juan pitched out of that bases loaded situation in the third. And other than that, he did a really good job. That misses 2-1.
Well, that was a really good job. Pitch out of a bases loaded.
You know what? Let me correct that. You're absolutely right. You pitched out.
Yeah.
I guess getting in the bases loaded situation.
Wasn't so good. Yeah.
Not so good, but
getting out of it was great.
Juan was outstanding. 6 shutout innings.
And it's worth repeating the number that when Juan does go 6 innings, the Rockies are 14-3, 20-8, and he has an earned run average of 224 when he works 6 innings in his career.
And there's the finger in the splint for Nolan. And he'll stay with the team on this road trip. He's going to meet with a specialist in Cleveland at the Cleveland Clinic. 2-2, and this is in the air to Michael Kadire in right. Simmons is retired. 1 gone. Ramiro Pena coming up to face Belisle. Auto glass damage. Trust Safelite. Go online to safelight.com. Give them a call if you prefer at 303-287-5000. Pena line out. And then a shallow fly ball that Drew Stubbs came storming in and made a sliding catch on. Real good play by Stubbs. Fifth year in a Rockies uniform for Matt Belisle. Good fastball at 93 from Matty.
I go back to the story. Matt had been brought up in June or July and didn't pitch very well. Was back in AAA. Chuck Neffens was the AAA pitching coach at the time for the Rockies, and he said, "You're going to close." He said, "Close." I never close. He said, "Well, you're closing." And I remember Dave Holliday, who now works for these Atlanta Braves, was a special assistant to Dan O'Dowd at the time, and Dan called and said, "What do you think of Peralta? Or what do you think of this guy?" They started naming off some names. He goes, "The guy you want's Belisle." And he goes, "What are you, crazy?" We already looked at it. It wasn't any good. We've seen it twice this year. And quite honestly, Matt didn't pitch well. He said, "Well, it's 95-96 right now, and it's nasty." And he is closing games and commanding it. Matt was obviously a great big, played a huge part. Watch this play. Speed on arm and strength. There you go.
How good is that? Yeah, Atlanta is treated to a great shortstop in Simmons defensively, and the Rockies for years have been treated to the superior play of Troy Tulowitzki. I just marvel at how effortless he makes difficult plays look, like that one.
Yeah, this is a backhand that he gets to. And the thing is, folks, he's not a 5'11" shortstop. He's 6'5". I mean, 6'4". I mean, it's a big guy that going after the ball.
Huge guy. I mean,
Schaefer coming in. What I want to finish about this with Dave Holliday and Dan talking about Matt Belisle. I mean, it just goes to the credit of Dan trusting your scouts, what they're telling you. John Weil, who does the pro scouting director for the Rockies, and there's guys out working every day on the road trying to find a guy that could help this ball club make better and make this club better, and that's exactly what happened here.
Jordan Schaefer at the plate, pinch hitting. Two-0 count on Schaefer. Came up with the Braves, went away, and now he's back in an Atlanta uniform. One time they thought he was going to be their everyday center fielder. 2-1. And this is an easy play for Troy and a terrific inning for Matt Belisle. We are through 7. The Rockies have all the runs, 3-zip.
second inning, 3-0 Rockies as we go to the 8th inning. Matt Belisle is 10 appearances away from third all-time in franchise history. And I know Drew and George were talking about Matt Belisle and his pedigree. Well, remember, he was originally an Atlanta Brave. They traded him. He never made it to the bigs with Atlanta, traded him to the Reds, and now he's with the Rockies. And as you guys have said, the Rockies are pretty happy what Matt has done over the course of his career.
He's had a terrific career, Mark, in the bullpen for the Rockies. And the last few years, nobody in baseball has been utilized as frequently as Matt Belisle in a variety of roles. Drew Stubbs getting ready to go, and the new pitcher is David Hale, making his 13th appearance. And like everybody else who wanders out of that bullpen, he has really good numbers.
Yeah, and he has appeared as a starter and reliever. 34 1/3 innings, 28 hits, given up 19 strikeouts. Hale has not allowed a run as a reliever. It's covering 11 innings, 8 pitches. Well, Stubbs has only hit .480 leading off an inning. Build on that 3-0 lead.
So Minor gives up 3 runs on 4 hits and 6 1/3. He walked 3 and struck out 6. Stubbs 0 for 2 in a walk. Also has a stolen base. One thing about Hale, he will walk some people, and he misses ball 1. We talked about it earlier, George. The key against Atlanta, maybe more so than any team in baseball, play from in front, because the nasty guys, you're not going to come back against them 95% of the time. And now with the lead late, you avoid, in all likelihood, seeing Carpenter, and certainly you avoid seeing Kimbrel.
Right, you keep those guys out of the part of the bullpen that you don't want to get into.
And probably Avalon also. I told you he'll walk some guys, and he's 3-0 right now. They have a late check with Mark Ripperger. I've never seen a late check, George. Have you, when you played?
Never.
What I mean by a late check, 4 or 5 seconds have gone by, and they request, hey, did the guy swing? You almost never see the corner umpires will then indicate, yeah, he went.
Exactly. They just trust him. They got each other's back. They just say, he didn't see it. I'm not calling it now. There's no way. Hale on the year throws about 89 miles an hour. He'll average with his changeup 81, curveball 78. Ground ball guy 38% of the time.
3-2 on Stubbs. And back up the middle, a base hit for Drew.
That average will jump higher than 430 now. Leading off an inning.
Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special, courtesy of Taco Bell. And just to underscore the point about how good the Braves are when they have a lead late. They have a lead in the 7th inning. They're 20-0. They have a lead in the 8th inning, 23-0. Tulowitzki, 1 for 2 and a walk. The one, a home run his last at bat. He tried to lay down a bunt with Chris Johnson deep.
6th inning, he got a ball up in the strike zone, and I'm still baffled at the strength of Troy Tulowitzki to hit a ball this high, this far, 335 feet, hit it about 355 down that left field line. And a strong human being, folks.
Tied with Giancarlo Stanton for the league lead with 14 home runs. Stubbs dives back in. Drew with 4 bags this year. 3 times he has stolen more than 30. His career high is 40.
You mentioned those numbers of the Atlanta Braves, 20-0 with the lead. 3-0 after the 8th inning. The Rockies 23-3 with the lead after 7th. 22-1 with the lead after 8.
And this Braves team has struggled offensively, so that mark is not surprising. 1-18 when trailing after 7. One and 2. Very frequent running count. See if Stubbs takes off. Say, well, why is that a good running count? It's a breaking ball count, an off-speed count. As a pitcher,
and you got to know who's on
off, and it's in the dirt, that type of thing.
But you got to make sure you know who's on the mound too. On a 1-2 count, you're not going to see Craig Kimbrell throwing off a lot of sliders, and if they are, they're 90 miles an hour, so it's not really a good running count. So you know who the guy is. He's an 89-mile-an-hour guy with a 78-mile-an-hour curveball.
Most closers, George, as you've always said, don't pay a whole lot of attention typically to the running game. They're trying to get that guy at the plate.
And the more you put the ball in play in other positions other than home plate, chances are a mistake happening, throwing the ball away. So a lot of times closers aren't going to pick off. They're not going to try the trick pick at second.
You were a setup guy. You didn't pick a lot.
I didn't like picking. You know, if you threw the ball away, I mean, why run the gamble of playing catch somewhere else when you don't have to, other than home plate? I knew if I got the guy out at home, I didn't have to worry about the guy at first.
2-2 on Troy.
One of the hard adjustments a young pitcher like Hale has to do, when you've been a starting pitcher and he filled in for Minor and other guys that were hurt, that when you do that, then you come back and you go into the bullpen, it's a different mindset working out of the bullpen. But he was very efficient. The opposition hit just .210 against him.
Stubbs takes off, and it's fouled off down the right field line and out of play.
The Super Suite Conference Center at Coors Field is available for your game day or non-game day meetings. Groups of 25 to 200 will enjoy the views of the city as well as the ball field from this unique meeting place. So call the Rockies today. Make an appointment to have your office or group of people come by the ballpark. 303 Rockies.
Three runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. No runs, just 2 hits for Atlanta. Stubbs not going, and that's inside a breaking ball. So now it's 3-2.
When you work off the first base side as far as what Hale is with the positioning of his foot on the pitching rubber, you'll have a tendency to one of two things: yank the slider out of the strike zone along with the fastball, or you spin out quickly and you hang a slider in the middle half of the plate. That's what he did on that last pitch, but it was far enough in. Troy took it.
Takes off, and this is slowly hit, and this is going to be an infield hit, you assume. Yep, Simmons ate the baseball. First and second, nobody out. And that'll bring up Michael Kadire.
3-0 lead, easy to do. Tap this ball out in front, do the soft jog. Not Troy. He's busting it hard up the line to get this base hit. He with the runner already advanced to second. Troy beats it. Now you got first and second. You're in the heart of this lineup and a chance to add on against this team. I mentioned Hale, 38% of the time ground ball outs. He's gotten a couple of ground balls. They've just been base hits.
Kadire got the Rockies on the board back in the second inning. He had a 3-0 count against Mike Minor, and he punished this baseball to left center. He hit one out last night, nearly hit another one out. And he's got an 0-2 count. How about this? After last night, a couple more two strike hits. Kadire's hitting .361 with 2 strikes. That's the best mark in baseball. He's got an 0-2 count right now.
Ability to change your swing, go to the right side, shorten things up.
Hale reminds me a little bit of a guy you mentioned earlier, George, Matt Daly. Not overpowering. Matt was a little bit dropped down a little bit more.
He'll just try to produce ground ball outs. He's throwing some power sinkers in between 88 and 91 right now.
Cuddy in his career at .344 lifetime average against Atlanta. A lot of those guys who are from the Carolinas or Southern Virginia rooted for the Braves. That was the team they got on television. So Atlanta was on everywhere. Good two-strike approach there. Dodgers got beat today 5-3 in Philadelphia. Going, man, I'm throwing all my nasty pitches.
Throwing an awful lot of hard, boring sinkers in on Kadire, and he's able to fight it, stay alive, and hopefully get something out over the plate. What you want to do is hope that he tries to run a sinker to that outside corner and bring it into here, and it ends up right out in the middle of the plate.
That was a pitch Michael wanted to hit. Stubbs at second, Tulowitzki at first, nobody out. And this ball lasered right at the second baseman, Pena. And the only reason he didn't double up Tulowitzki is Freeman couldn't get to the bag in time.
That good hustle by Tulowitzki, too. He read it perfectly. I mean, a line drive, nobody out, 2 or less. I mean, obviously 1 or less outs, you're going to freeze as a base runner. Ball was hit, Tulowitzki froze, and then hustled back with a head first slide into first. Good base running.
Good at bat by Kadire. So now Rosario will take his turn. Williams 0 for 3. Rockies a chance to make the lead even more comfortable. Giants host the Twins again tonight.
Dangerous, very dangerous there. I don't know if we have a replay of this. Pena, the second baseman, it's kind of a way the Braves like to do it. Run your shortstop around behind you, then have him go back to the position. So as a base runner, you take a couple of steps off, then your second baseman shoots to the bag, try to have a pickoff. They're going to hold everything steady here on the breaking ball well into the dirt. But here's what you're going to look at here. What's going to happen? He's going to come around behind, act as if he's coming, and then he's going to come back the other way. When that happens, then the second baseman comes to the bag. But as a pitcher, if you're not going to pick, you got to hold the baseball. You can't get it caught open or wide open on that right side when you're throwing the baseball.
Three and one on Willeen Rosario.
15 strikes, 10 balls. He's got 1 out, and he's thrown 25 pitches. Drives the manager crazy. Drives your defense crazy.
Matchup tonight in San Francisco. Ryan Vogelsong, Samuel DeDuno, former Rocky from Minnesota. 3-2 on Willeen. Good pickup by Simmons, and they turn it over. Well, the Rockies had 2 on, nobody out, and can't produce a run, but they'll carry a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 8th. CenturyLink, what's next? Tomorrow's starting pitchers. Franklin Morales will make his 10th start for the Rockies. Julio Teheran will make his 11th start for Atlanta. Opposition hitting just 196 against Teheran. He's got a 192 ERA, though he's lost 3 times. Frankie's coming off a real good ball game. Right now it's 3-0 Rockies in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boone Logan will take to the hill as you look at Morales. 17th appearance now for Boone. Almost a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And the opposition hitting just 222 against him. And Boone's one of those guys that you can use for a full inning. He's not just a lefty specialist. George had mentioned earlier about 2,000 plus games out of that bullpen. It begins with LaTroy Hawkins, but then there's guys like Matt Belisle and Boone Logan who've been in a whole lot of ball games also.
Massa was in a lot of games before he got hurt too. I mean, not that many, but Massa was in a lot. 2,411 what came out of that bullpen. Massa's been in 314 ball games, so there's a lot of experience down in the pen.
Who's Hot is brought to you by Weber. Weber, serious grills for unserious times. Longest hitting streak going right now in the National League is owned by Jason Hayward at 11 games. Hunter Pence, who we just saw at 10 games. This afternoon, Jason is 0 for 2 and a walk. One of the better defensive plays we've seen today. Michael Kadire in deep right center field hauled in a long drive by Hayward his last time, and the first pitch is in there, strike 1 at 93 miles an hour.
Yeah, the big advantage Logan has, he used pretty much as a specialist last year with the Yankees. He's not a specialist. He can get right-handers out too. He's proven that. Enough velocity behind the fastball, good command of the fastball. The last at 93.
Just missed high and in. And lefties hitting the same as righties, 222.
Experienced arm. Not only that, it brings a lot of veteran leadership into the bullpen to go along with Belisle, Hawkins brings.
Two and two. Set up really well for Logan to be utilized by Walt in that 2 of the 3 that he'll face are left-handed. They're 2 of the biggest bats in their lineup, and Hayward and Freddie Freeman, who will hit after B.J. Upton.
Yeah, the lineup, what you do previously, dictates how you manage in the latter part of the ball game.
Three and two.
Ottavino, who pitched an inning plus last night, getting loose down in the bullpen to face the right-hander if you get down that far. Justin Upton or Evan Gattis.
Got him on a slider. Good job by Boone Logan.
Rosario called fastball to begin with, and then went back, shook off to the slider.
The Ford Strike Zone's powered by Ford cars, big MPGs, smart technology, unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford, go further.
They asked for the fastball. Boone Logan shook to the slider, threw it where it's enticing because it started here, ended up out there. So that part of it makes it pretty good coming out of the hand of Logan. Tough to lay off of in a 3-2 count, and he gets the strikeout of Jason Hayward.
B.J. Upton, a ground ball base hit through the left side. His second hit of the ball game. And that'll bring up Freeman.
Freeman on the year, second on this ball club of hitting into double play balls. He's hit into 8 on the season. Chris Johnson with 9 leads it.
2 walks and a ground ball to first this afternoon for Freeman.
0 for 2 in his career versus Logan.
Ball 1 as he goes slider on Freeman. Those are percentages of double plays, double play opportunities.
Pretty good location at 93, outside corner, knees and down.
Ball and 1 strike on Freeman, who's from California. He was a second-round pick in '07 by Atlanta. That was nasty. 1 and 2.
A lot of times you think after you get the first pitch for a strike on a 1-1 count, left on left, you're going to see a slider. That's not the case. Got a fastball under his hands. You really get that left-handed hitter thinking of which direction you're going to go here. Is he coming back in with the heater? Is he going away with the slider? Is he going away with the fastball? You got a lot of options here.
1-2. Came back in, and Freeman just did get a piece of it. Upton at first with 1 out, and it's hooked, and it's fair past Morneau. And this is a long run for Kadire. Upton is going to get a stop sign late as Kadire fires a strike to the plate. And now you have second and third, 1 out, and the tying run comes to the plate, Justin Upton. Freeman was fooled. He just kind of hooked this thing and between hop.
Got that way out on the front foot. It's a 1-hop line drive. Not sure if it caught the same grass on the dirt, but Morneau came off on it, and then when it's hit, he tried to short pick it, which is probably the right thing to try to do, and the ball took the higher hop over the glove down into the corner.
So with the 2 righties coming up, Upton and Gaddis. Adam Ottavino will be summoned. 3-0 Rockies in the 8th. this three-game set between the Rockies and Atlanta Braves. Our pregame coverage will start at 2:30 Mountain Time, right here on Root Sports, your home for Rockies baseball all season long. Adam Ottavino has inherited a second and third situation with one out in the bottom of the eighth inning. The Rockies up 3-0. The cleanup man, Justin Upton, at the plate. He had a double his last time up.
And what you do now is you hope to only give up one. Difficult place to be in with just one out and a runner at third. So many things can happen. The infield was back to try to get just that out. Swing and a miss on a big slider.
Ottavino against right-handed hitters have limited them to a 190 average.
And Upton has struggled with runners in scoring position, 217 average. Against Ottavino, 2 for 9.
Ottavino took the loss yesterday, giving up an eighth inning single to Laird that drove in the go-ahead run. Atlanta won 3-2 last night.
Part of working out of the bullpen, short memory with Jim Wright, the leader of this pitching staff. Just a short memory, because you may be back there tomorrow. He is. He's right smack in the middle of a winning situation, 3-0 Rockies.
Fly ball to right center field. Kadire moves over, sets to throw. Here comes Upton, and he'll score. Throw to third. Safe there. So a sac fly for Justin Upton. It's 3-1. And with 2 outs, a runner at third.
Look at this, more of a line drive throw and a pick, and then the snap throw over. That's why you have that cutoff man right there, and he come in pretty hard on Culberson. You hope he's all right at third base as he came in with that lead leg, got up underneath Charlie.
Unfortunately, the spikes didn't stay stuck in the ground for Charlie.
They're looking to see, I think, if he left early off the second base bag. Tulo kept looking into the dugout. Meeting on the mound, and now to go back to work.
Evan Gattis, and he takes a slider for a strike. Oh for 2 and a walk. And now in a ditch, 0-2.
Really got on top and buried that slider. It was not the sweeper. It was a little shorter, tighter break into the plate area with more downward tilt than flat. You see a late bite on this thing. Good pick by Rosario behind the plate.
And on 3 pitches, he strikes out Gattis. Well done for Adam Ottavino. The Rockies will take a 3-1 lead to the 9th. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Ram Trucks. The Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champ. In the state capital of Georgia, the Rockies leading 3-1, ninth inning. Morneau will lead it off against David Hale. Let's get you to Denver, get a preview of what's to come after the game on the Toyota postgame show. Here's Jenny.
I got that in the glow stick. This is George, but I actually liked all that. Yeah. I got it all. I mean, I had that locked down. You do?
You looked up, you YouTubed it?
Yeah. All right, Eddie, we'll see you after the game.
Justin Morneau will lead things off against Hale, and he fires at the first pitch, which was up. 0-1. Justin 0 for 2 and a walk. Culberson and LeMahieu will follow. Good pitching again, George, by Adam Ottavino.
Great pitching by Adam Ottavino to get out of that inning and shut things down. Come in with the second and third, runner on third and one out. It's difficult on a relief pitcher's only because there's just so many avenues. Shot right at Freeman, he'll pick it and take it to the bag. There's so many avenues for the guy to score. I mean, anything can happen. So to only give up one in that situation, that's a very good job. Fly ball to right and a strikeout.
Culberson is 2 for 3. Charlie getting the first start at third base with the injury to Nolan Arenado. He had started every single game at third base, and Charlie responding not far from his hometown of Rome with a single and a double and 3 at bats.
Yeah, a lot of family here to watch Charlie play.
Let's take you back to the 7th inning. This was reviewed for almost 5 minutes. This slide on the ground ball to first by Charlie Blackmon. Freeman comes home. And the initial call, as you see from home plate umpire Lance Barksdale, was out. Walt Weiss contested it. And after a review of 4 minutes and 40 seconds, Culberson was ruled safe. Now, how big is that? Instead of a 2-1 ball game, now it's a 3-1 ball game.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, it was huge there. I mean, Charlie, what a slide he had at the home plate area. Everybody pretty excited about that also. Spun around with the fastball at 90.
Culberson drives this to center field on the button, but it's right at B.J. Upton. 2 outs. Charlie swung the bat well tonight.
Had some nice plays defensively at third base. It's been a good day for Charlie.
Yep.
Not over with yet. He's still needing 3 outs to get this thing closed down.
And not only was it obviously the first start for Charlie at third base this year, that was the first time he started at third base in his big league career.
Has played there, but has not started there.
DJ LeMahieu with 2 outs. And a bouncer to third. When we come back, LaTroy Hawkins will try to get the final 3 outs. Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, Ramiro Pena scheduled for Atlanta. Colorado 3 and Atlanta 1. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Rockies fell 3-2 last night. Another tight affair in Atlanta. The Rockies have a 3-1 lead, looking for 3 more outs. LaTroy Hawkins looking for his 11th save. Chris Johnson is 0 for 3. Andrelton Simmons 0 for 3. And Ramiro Pena is 0 for 3.
Well, it's amazing when you have a couple of bumps in the road. As a setup man or closer, the question that gets asked, are you going to stick with him? Yeah, sticking with him. 10 out of 11 save opportunities, 441 earned run average. Not going to strike out a lot of people because he's a contact guy. He's going to be around the plate. They're going to put the ball in play. Just catch it. He'll face Johnson, 1 for 4 in his career. Simmons, 1 for 5. Pena, 1 for 2.
First pitch to Johnson at the knees for a strike. That's one of the keys. Hawk's been up a little bit in his last couple of outings. Good numbers in his career against the Braves. Used to see him a lot last year pitching for the Mets. So there's lineup familiarity.
Well, Troy does a lot of tricky type things on the mound, meaning he will take a non-set position with nobody on base. He'll start his delivery coming up, and as his hands come up, he'll get the timing of the hitter off on a 1-1 count. Here he'll come completely set before throwing the pitch.
Bouncing ball over the mound, and LeMahieu makes the play. That's a terrific play by DJ.
Well, and the reason behind this, Troy started to break for the ball. DJ put his hand out. I got it. I got it. In other words, keep away from me. Give me all the room I got here because I know I can get this out. And that's exactly what happened. Tapped off of the mound, high hop. He's going to put the hand extended right here. He's letting Tulo know I got it. Just like turning a double play on the move, a quick exchange, and they're able to get the out.
One out. Andrelton Simmons at the plate. Well received, but a little bit high. And just in case, Rex Brothers tossing the baseball. Bo McLaughlin looking on. Too many guys can maintain their velocity for 20 years.
Well, that's taking care of your body, taking care of your arm. He's never had any major arm injuries. He's typically has not been overworked. He's been with some good organizations.
1-1 and a ground ball to short. Troy's got it. 2 outs. That'll bring up Pena. Pena line out. And that's a strike. He just stepped out. We saw that the other day, and I forget who was pitching for the Rockies. Unfortunately, missed the strike. So Pena just backed out.
It was LaTroy.
time wasn't given. Now it's 0-2.
Well, that's what we talked about, LaTroy. It's not a quick pitch motion. It's just instead of coming in a set position with his hands, as he starts to come forward, he just keeps everything going and coming. While the hitter thinks he's going to come set in his normal position, he doesn't do it.
Did you ever do that?
No.
Troy does it a fair amount. 0-2 on Pena. Fouled off that heater at 94. Another 2-strike pitch. This is popped up, foul, and Charlie's not going to have a play. Oh, 2. Got him. A 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Rockies have beaten the Atlanta Braves 3-1. Just their second victory in their last 15 ball games here in Atlanta. Juan Nicasio, 6 shutout innings, 2-hit baseball for Juan. He improves to 5-2 with the 1-2-3 ninth. Hawkins